Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie and I make mommy life, lifestyle and budgeting / affordable living content here on YouTube, and I'm happy that you clicked on this video. If you're new here, welcome, and I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and be a part of my family, our family. So today I'm going to be making a video on how we save money on our grocery bill. So groceries are usually one of the biggest expenses in anybody's budget, I would think. We probably spend almost as much on groceries as we do on our mortgage, I think. I guess it depends on how high your mortgage or rent is. But needless to say, groceries are a big part of your budget, and it's a part of your budget you just can't cut out. And so it's nice to find ways to eat well, but cut down the bill as well. So my husband and I decided that one thing that we were not going to do is eat poorly in order to save money to pay off debt faster. That's not something that we wanted to do. So we found ways to eat really well, but still cut down our grocery bill each month. So I'm just here to share my tips. So most of these aren't going to be mind-blowing tips, and you've probably heard them before because I've heard them, most of these at some point over the last few years. But I thought if I could put them all together and show you how I do it, maybe you can learn something, even if it's just one thing. So the first tip is to plan your meal. I know you've heard this before, most likely, but planning your menu is what I meant to say. So planning your menu will prevent you from buying a bunch of groceries that you won't end up needing or using, and some of them could be ones that go bad, and that's just a waste of money. So what I do is I plan out my meals for the week, my dinners for the week. We usually do dinners, and then my husband and I will take leftovers for the next day for lunch. We both work, so that works for us. So I will plan out the dinners for the week. Usually the weekends my husband helps me and stuff, so we kind of eat what's around the house, sometimes leftovers, sometimes something else. But I will plan the meals for Monday to Friday, write them all down, and then from there I will write down exactly what I need for each of these meals. And so I pretty much write down the recipes almost of what I need, and then I will go into the kitchen, into my pantry, into my fridge, whatever, and see what of these ingredients I already have and what I need. And then the last thing, I write down a grocery list with the exact things I need. And that is, I think, the #1 way to save money, in my opinion. So my #2 tip would be to use your phone or bring a small calculator and to add up your items as you put them into the grocery cart to make sure that you stay within the budget that you have set out for yourself. Because if you're anything like me, things can add up really quickly, and you kind of keep a list in your head, but for some reason it's always more at the till than what you're expecting. So if you keep a tab going, you aren't caught by surprise, and then you can choose to put something back if it's not something that you really need. Another thing that goes along with this is you can actually, when you're planning your menu at home, you could check for the prices online for that particular store and have kind of an exact total made up ahead of time. Now I know that usually doesn't work because there's going to be something that you forget that you needed or whatever it might be, but that is a good tip to plan your exact amount that you're going to be spending on groceries. And I know this is not going to work for everyone. I understand that, but this is for the people that are trying to have a strict budget in order to meet a specific short-term, medium-term goal. I know you can't necessarily live like this for the rest of your life. I know some people have adopted this style of life, and that is totally fine. But my husband and I, we did this because we need to pay off debt, and we are starting a company, and so there's just other places that our money needs to go to, so we're trying to be good stewards of our money. The next tip I would have for you is not to shop hungry. I know everyone here has heard that one already, but it is true. Don't shop hungry for because you're going to be adding stuff into your cart that you shouldn't, and if you're shopping with your spouse, if you shop hungry, you might just get frustrated with each other. I know some friends that that happens too. I don't know if that really happens to my husband and I, but I've heard of people that happens to. But anyway, mostly because then you won't buy all types of things that look good at the store. So my next tip is to utilize sales. Now what I mean by that is if diced tomatoes, for example, is on sale for like a really, really good price, then I might buy 2 or 3, even though I don't need 2 or 3 for my menu this week. But because it's a smart thing to do, if you can fit it into your budget that week, or put a little bit of money aside each week and then have that on hand to buy some bulk items, because diced tomatoes I use pretty much on a weekly basis anyway. So it'd be smart if it's on sale to buy a couple. And then what goes along with this one kind of is to check the reduced section. I know in our grocery stores you have like the vegetable section that's reduced price. And if you can fit those items into the next couple meals in the next few days, then grab those items, because sometimes they're reduced by a lot. And if you can make use of them before they go bad, that is excellent. My next tip is to buy store brands or no-name brands. Now I've mentioned this several times on my channel, so if you've watched my videos for a while, you'll know that I'm a big believer in shopping store brand or no-name brands, because they can be so much cheaper and have virtually no difference in taste. Now I know some things do, there's always exceptions, but in general, there is so many items that you can buy that are way cheaper and you would not be able to tell the difference. I did a video last week on taste testing this, great value versus various name brands, so I'll link the video down below so you can check it out. My next tip would be to compare prices per unit so that you can get the best bang for your buck. I'm so sorry about the lighting. The sun is coming and going here. That is highly frustrating. So if you compare price per unit, you can just make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck. So it might take a little longer. Your grocery shop might take a little longer, but it'll feel good to know that you got the most out of your dollar's worth. Okay, so the second to last tip is to buy meat in bulk. Now I know that you might not be able to do it right away depending on what your budget looks like and what if you have savings, etc., etc. You might have to save up for a while in order to do this, but it is really, really good if you can, because you could potentially be saving a lot of money. So what we do, my sisters and I, we buy a cow and we split it 4 ways. And so the butcher will just make the various, not make, but do different cuts of meat, and then we just get a little bit of roast beef, some steaks, some stew meat, some stir-fry meat, and then a bunch of ground beef. And so that's like your basic beef needs. I think that's all, yeah, we get pretty much every cut of meat, some of every cut of meat, and then of course ground beef we use the most, so we get more of that. But anyway, I was comparing the price per kilogram. I live in Canada, so we use kilograms, and it was so much cheaper, it's insane. So you put a lot of money up front, but then you save a lot of money in the long run. So if you can do that, that will save you money, and you usually get way better quality of meat as well. So my last tip would be to only go grocery shopping once a week or less if you can. So plan your menu for the week or 2 weeks, whichever you like, and buy exactly what you need and have all that stuff in the house, and don't go in between your big grocery shops, because every time you go to the grocery store you'll pick up several things that you probably don't really need, and that will really add up. I heard this, I think, from Jordan Page from funcheaperfree.com. I just love her channel. But anyway, I think I heard it from her, and I kind of took note of that and just like watched the way my husband and I were doing it, and it's true, like it really makes a huge difference. So if you haven't tried it and you think it's silly, take my word for it and try it and see what happens, and let me know. Anyway, that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!